Hello everybody and welcome to this week's trading tips from Smack the Markets for week commencing the 22nd of November. So this week we're going to take a look at the trade of the week last week that we took in the trading room. Now this combines all of the techniques that we've discussed so far in the trading tips playlist. So if you want to find out more about the details that we're using here, which is strengths and weaknesses and also trading windows and how we use those, then go and take a look at the playlist on our YouTube channel and you'll be able to find out how we incorporate those different sort of techniques within our trading decisions. In this week what we're going to be doing is demonstrating the best trade that we had last week in the trading room that actually combined those techniques together. So let's take a look at the trade itself. Now this was a trade on Great British Pound against the Australian dollar. It was called by Fergal in the trading room towards the earlier part of last week. It was also recognized by one of our members, Miles. So Miles, well done for spotting this and actually calling this too. So if we take a look at this trade, it was a swing long position on Great British Pound against the Aussie. There was a number of factors combining together that brought us to this decision to trade this market long. The first ones, of course, that we had strengths and weaknesses supporting this, so the Great British Pound was strong. That was on the back of positive comments from the Governor of Bank of England. There was an expectation at that point in time that interest rate rises were fairly imminent, and also we had a weak Aussie across the board. Again, I'll go into more details about how we use strengths and weaknesses on the specific video about that on the channel. The combination here of analysis was right the way across the board. When we build a trading decision, we use most of the trading time frames, and some of them actually can combine on the monthly chart. So here on the monthly chart, which is the bottom right hand corner, we were expecting here for a continuation long and possibly the start here of a bit of strength in the pound. We're looking for a bounce on the weekly chart. On the daily chart, we were looking for a breakout here of this channel that the market had been stuck in for a while, and you can see that channel in a little bit more detail here on the 4-hour time frame. So whilst the market had been sort of stuck in this sideways range, we'd now recently had a breakout to the long side. So we've got a breakout of this channel and a combination of strength pushing this market higher against a weak market. So our expectations were that this was going to continue to move higher. If we come down to the lower time frames, we always like to execute our trade setups on lower time frames. Gives us an opportunity to be able to capture more reward to risk on our sort of positions, but also we're not really we prefer to be have the major part of the move over with throughout the course of the day, so that any trades that roll over into swing trades in the evening end up being already sort of comfortably in profit. Now on the setup here that we have, it was on the 15-minute chart. We'd had the market already starting to move higher. You can see that we'd got the breakout of the daily range here and that 4-hour range here. The market sort of continued to roll up overnight, and this was sort of early morning that we were looking at this. Now you've got here on the 15-minute chart a tight range on that 15-minute bracketed by a couple of pivot points. The market broke out above that again, and then we got the pullback, and this is where we were alerted to the trade setup. So this is what we called, this was the setup that we were looking at here, looking for a tight setup that was in the process of developing. Now actually what happened was we got positioned on the next candle, because the first candle here was a bearish candle, but again very narrow indeed, and the market continued to grind sideways here for, well, a couple of hours in fact. So we got a sideways tight consolidation until the US opened up, and once the US came on stream, then the market moved pretty quickly in the direction that we expected. So there's a number of things that we liked about this, from the higher time frames right the way down to the setup chart here as well, and of course this was a successful trade. Now the question is, why did we get out where we did? And you can see that the market moved pretty swiftly through the afternoon, so this actually closed out sort of around 3 o'clock-ish. in that afternoon, and you can see that we've got a pivot point up here. We've also got another level, and the market actually hit that level pretty much on the nose, and then we saw some weakness. Now overall the market did continue to push higher, and you can see that it did push further and make a further high, but it didn't do an awful lot more after that. In fact, the market's now sort of weakened off, so this was about the best that it got out of it. So we didn't quite pick the overall high, but the reason why we picked this high here was because we'd already booked 400% return on the trade at that point. And again, combining this with higher time frames, if you have a look at the daily chart, you can see where the market is on the daily chart. So we'd pulled straight up into a significant structure level. So our trading window that we were looking at trading had played out, and now we'd come into a significant decision point, and that level, that decision point level, not only tied up on the daily chart, it also tied up on the weekly chart as well. So we'd got a number of things all tying together. Now of course the market could have gone higher. In fact it didn't, but it could have gone higher. But the way that we trade is that when we've got that much on the table, we like to take it. We can always get back in at another time, preferably maybe when the market's proved itself that it's actually got past this decision point and it's moving on to the next one. So that's the trade of the week for last week. It's not the only trade that we took. We took other trades on dollar CAD as well. That was in a long trend as well, and that long move on dollar CAD. But this is a good example of how we've used trading windows and how we've used strengths and weaknesses, which are the current sort of trading topics that we've covered within the Trading Tips series. So I certainly hope it helps. It's a good example of how we use these techniques within our own trading decisions. If you like these sort of videos, if you like the sort of techniques that we use, then be sure to subscribe to our trading newsletter or subscribe to the YouTube channel, and hit the notifications tab, and that way you'll get notified each time we post one of these. Hope it helps, and I look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye for now.